So we got Vero, Bronx, New York, 38 Aquarius, mental health therapist, mom of 2 kids by the same man, never married. Okay, what are your deal breakers?
Smokers, no smokers, no cheap men. I'm sorry, I like nice stuff. I do well for myself and I get myself nice stuff. So if you're cheap, don't do it. Liars, cheaters, like the regular stuff. People that don't treat their family well. People that's selfish and let me see. And people that's like self-centered. That's all.
So what's cheap to you?
Cheap is going to Applebee's. Cheap is going to Applebee's. Like, I don't do chain restaurants. Like, I like restaurants that you never heard of the name. Or if you did heard of the name, it's like, yeah.
So, okay. Yeah. So if a guy wanted to take you on a date to Applebee's, you would say no?
No.
What is
I
that?
didn't even take my kids to Applebee's.
Okay, you know, there was this whole conversation about the Cheesecake Factory. Could he bring you to the Cheesecake Factory?
He can get me a piece of cheesecake to go for a dirty bag, but not to take me there, no.
Okay, so what kind of restaurant should the man be willing to take you that you will accept?
Like 5-star restaurants, like stuff that you just never heard about, no chain restaurants.
So this is the first date?
Yes. Like, I went on a date before, and the guy, he took me to a Brazilian restaurant.
Where with that guy? Why didn't you just close the deal?
That was a while ago. That was a long time ago. That was our first date. That was nice. The second date was nice, but then he wasn't my third date. He wasn't my.
Is he the only guy that's ever done that, or this is what you get all the time?
Sometimes, not all the time.
Okay, but now it's the requirement.
Yes.
Woo, child, so no chain restaurant. So she said Applebee's. I said
Red Lobster.
Where?
Applebee's. Longhorn. I said Red Lobster, Applebee's, Longhorn Steakhouse. No. No.
So 5-star restaurants are the requirement. First date.
Yeah.
Okay.
If I can take myself there, they should take me there too.
Okay, girl, you know you're gonna be a highlight, and you know they about to come for you. So I want you to prepare.
Take it all time. I got all my money to back it up.
Be ready to back it up. Now, we already know the guy has to bring you to a 5-star restaurant. First date, no chain restaurant. Should he make a certain amount of money?
As long as he's able to take care of himself and his responsibilities and not ask me for no money.
And afford a 5-star restaurant.
Yeah.
And afford literally at least a $200 first date bare minimum.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's do the Kendrick Kim. We gotta see your full body, baby girl. Okay, let's see you, girl. 5-star, don't play with it. 5-star restaurants only. What's your name, honey?
Toto.
Toto. So this is perfect, Toto. Where you call me from?
Dallas, Texas.
Toto, like the Wizard of Oz?
Toto, like Toto. No, it's an African thing. It's just an African thing.
Okay. In America, when you said Toto, I thought of the Wizard of Oz, the dog.
No, when you say Toto in Africa, we're talking about the private part.
The private part? Vagina?
No, the man.
The man's penis?
Yeah.
And that's your nickname?
That's my name, Toto.
Why is the nickname the man's penis?
Because I need myself because I love Toto. Like, I love it. So that's why I need
What's going on? What's going on? So you nicknamed yourself Toto, which in Africa means a man's penis because you love it. Well, they have it, people. That's how we're going to start. So Toto Dallas, do you have any kids, honey?
Yes, I have kids.
How many?
I got 5 kids.
How old are your 5 kids?
One is 4, One is, I think, 12, and I have 13. The ages is just, they're together. I don't want to really call the ages, but it's just stack up.
I need to know the ages.
Okay, so I have a 12 years old, I have her 8 years old, and I have a 4 years old. And then one is my stepchild.
Are you married?
No, I'm not. I'm not married.
You said you have a stepchild.
Yeah, I mean, we're not together, but the child still is mine because I'm used to the baby, so it's kind of like mine.
So you have 4 kids you gave birth to.
Yeah.
Are they all by the same man?
No.
How many men?
4 baby daddy.
So you really do love Toto?
Yeah, I do. That's how it is.
When was your last relationship?
Relationship or sex?
However you want to answer it.
Okay, relationship was probably, I said a week ago.
You broke up with somebody a week ago?
Yeah.
And when was the last time you had sex?
Today's Sunday, right?
Yeah.
I said Tuesday.
So you broke up with somebody last Sunday and you slept with somebody 2 days later?
Yeah. I'm being completely honest. I just laughed because the comments are, but yeah. You asked me to be honest.
Woo! So you broke up with a man a week ago, and then 2 days later you had sex with a different man.
I mean, it was, you gotta move on. I'm not here to mourn nobody. They didn't die. Oh, well, I thought this is the one I remember. Yeah.
She said she's not here to mourn anybody. They did not die.
Life goes on.
Why would a guy be lucky to be with you?
Because we're making memories, baby. We're having fun. We're making memories. Say, listen, we're making memories. I will cook you fufu and chicken feet. Have you ate chicken feet?
I have not ate chicken feet.
You want to try it? Then holler at me. Because you'll be lucky to taste some fufu. And I'm telling you, once you eat some chicken feet and fufu, you ain't going back home to your mama's house. You're locking.
Toto, okay. Could the guy have kids?
Nah, I got too many already for both of us.
Toto, hold the hell up.
Did you just? I don't think you're listening.
No. Hold on, real quick. I'm definitely listening, and that is why I said hold.
Oh, we're making memories. We're not married.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. But okay. And don't tell me to hold on. But here's the deal. So you want a man that you can just have fun with because you have 4 kids, and you want a man that has no kids.
But I told you, I'm not bringing you around my kids.
So you want so in this case, you just want a fun time man.
Yes.
And therefore, he can have no kids.
I mean, he can have kids, but I ain't playing the mama. I'm just not. I'm not babysitting. I'm not going on. We're not going on a kumbaya date or going to Wakanda together. None of that.
What's good, everybody, and welcome back to the channel, Capri Social Network. So in today's video, ladies and gentlemen, I wanted to specifically address why a lot of you females, especially you modern day females within the 20 to 30 year old age demographic, 20 something, let me get it straight and make it more clear. Within the women, I'm addressing specifically women within the 20 to 30 year old something age bracket on why you are some of the most unsuccessful. I started to say successful, but I meant to say unsuccessful, and why you are such failures when it comes to finding that compatible male partner, when it comes to finding that man who you could be able to be in a long-term relationship with. And what I mean by a long-term relationship with someone who you could end up married with, and if you may not have kids of your very own, be able to start your very own and first family with, and end up tying a knot with one of those types of men. Even on behalf of you women who may happen to have a bunch of children from a previous relationship or marriage, I'm addressing you as well, why you happen to be such failures in maintaining relationships, being able to maintain successful relationships with men who will be more of husband material. With that being said, and without further ado, I'm going to cut straight to the chase by showing some more clips. I already showed 2 different clips, both of them courtesy of TikTok. Now I'm going to show you some more, everybody, on behalf of Instagram. So if you sit tight, I will be glad to have the awesome privilege to do so.
I hate to say this, but I think that women have to lower their standards. Before you go crazy on me, just hear me out. The amount of chronically single girlfriends that I know, either approaching their 30s or already in their 30s, that are like wanting to settle down and have a family, but can't, is an epidemic at this point. And we're talking about women that are financially stable, have educations, are beautiful, have their fathers in their lives, like come from nice families. Like, we're not talking about like a bum bitch. We're talking about like a very decent young lady.
With that being said, I'm glad she mentioned this. By the way, this happens to be a sister, not who's black. I don't even know whether she's white. She may be Hispanic or something else. Anyway, she cut it down to a T all the way around by saying how one of the main reasons why so many modern day women struggle when being able to maintain both successful and happy long-term relationships is due to their high standards. Because, and I wanted to mention this as well, how many of you look at the Kendra G show and see how it never fails, the majority of her female guests are always mothers, single mothers at that. Every now and then she may happen to set up a date when women who may happen to be divorced and may be a divorced mother. But it never fails women, because these women have multiple kids in most cases on her show, but yet and still have these high expectations and lists of requirements that they still may want out of a man, even if that man may not have kids of his very own. And what makes it even more delusional when more modern day women, that is, especially the ones with kids, is there are some who will have the nerve to go on dating apps and dating shows by the likes of the Pop the Balloon show, the Kendra G show. I believe it's another show called Action that's supposed to be very parallel to Kendra G's show. A lot of you will have the nerve after you've been ran through, so to speak, and after you have become damaged goods when kids by more than one man, in most instances, a man without kids of his very own. Although it would make more sense to want a man, if you're a woman with baggage, so to speak, in other words, who may happen to have either a kid or more than one kid by more than one man, wouldn't it make more sense to look for a guy who's in your league, who, in other words, may happen to have either a kid from a previous relationship or more than one kid from more than one relationship, someone who's your very own equal and who you could be more compatible with, someone who you could also be able to relate to more. Anyways.
So I'll have conversations with my friends and they'll say things like, oh, like, you know, I want him to make like at least $200,000 a year, like at minimum. He has to be in shape. Like, I really like a guy with a six-pack. I love a guy who's like 6'2". I need a guy with like a full head of hair. Like, I can't do bald guys. Every single time you throw a new specification into what you desire, the only person that fits within the parameters of what you are looking for exists in your fucking dreams. No, I've had girlfriends tell me like, oh my God, no, he's great, this and that, like, but I can't do a short king. So you're telling me you found a guy that's like not bad looking, has a great job with benefits, like financially stable, comes from a great family, and you can't do it because his legs aren't long enough? Like, you bitches are out of your minds. I hate to say this, but I think that women have to lower their standards. Before you go crazy on me, just hear me out.
Now, I wanted to read this to you. This here woman happens to have a very high body count. In other words, she happens to have a whole group of guys or list of guys that she's already had sex with. And I wanted to read how ridiculous and delusional she sounds. Woman says it's time, the title or caption is, woman says it's time for her to get married after she had relationships with everybody she wanted. I had sex with everybody I wanted to, now it's time to get married. Not realizing how the average man who hasn't had hardly any sex partners, much less even a man who has had a whole lot of sex partners, doesn't want to marry a woman of this caliber, this magnitude. For the most part, his main thoughts will be on behalf of her having so many previous sexual partners, how she most likely has a whole lot of diseases. And this is another reason why so many modern day women have such a hard time finding the right man. Men who would make good husbands and also good fathers, due to how so many of them already come in relationships with high body counts, especially the women who usually may have several kids by several different men. Let me not forget you as well. You're just as guilty. For all you who may have more than one kid by more than one guy, which is the norm, and you can also say a trend nowadays, but yet and still may expect for a guy to rush you to the altar to wife you. Anyhow,
if you are sexually active and you know that you have an STD, then you need to inform people of that. Because when you don't, and you infect that person, you are changing their life forever, and they are making a decision that they do not know. Like, this shit is going to change the rest of my life. And there's nothing I can do. And I'm embarrassed. And I'm humiliated, and I feel so stupid. I feel so stupid for letting someone take advantage of me in a moment of weakness. But I did not consent to this. And I'm going to get justice for myself. If you are sexually active,
I don't know what's happening to club culture, but the girlies are not wearing heels in the clubs anymore. And as a 34-year-old, I know I don't look my age, but as a 34-year-old, do we need to come out of retirement and teach the girls how to wear heels, or like what heels you need to shop for when going out in the club? Because the amount of flats and sandals that I saw is just like, part of the thrill of going to the club is dancing on the couch in your heels. You got to figure out how to strengthen those ankles so you don't break them, like how to maneuver. Like, it's a rite of passage. I feel like you don't appreciate wearing a flat if you aren't dancing on the couch in the club. I don't know, y'all. There's just something about a cute little heel. You know, we gotta figure it out. We gotta bring heel culture back to the clubs, because what are y'all doing? What's going on? What are y'all even doing? What's the purpose of going to the club if you're not gonna dress up?
now I'm glad this sister mentioned this about women who refuse when they go out onto the night scene, or to night spots, bars, what it may be, either bars, clubs, how they refuse to wear high heels regardless. Not realizing how, although there are some men who are more superficial, who go more so by the physical appearance of the average woman, and therefore may not care really how she dresses. However, there are some men in the same breath who are turned on and look at it as a big deal breaker. At the same time, when it comes to dealing with women who wear nothing but sneakers, especially a lot of you women who wear nothing but J's, aka Jordans, all the time. And it's just something, in my humble and honest opinion, it's just something about a woman who wears heels. And she doesn't have to wear them on a regular basis, but when she does get the chance to step out onto the scene or go to somewhere such as either a gala, a night spot or whatnot, it's something that brings out the maturity of a woman when she wears high heels and dresses. Not only that, but it brings out the sex appeal even more. This is just, once again, in my humble and honest opinion, because some of you guys, no matter, even if this sister right here, this beautiful sister said how older women need to come out of retirement, older women that is, who like to wear strictly heels and pumps just to put younger women on hip and on game on how to dress more feminine. Some of you guys will still keep on selling for women just due to their looks. Anyways, it should be one more clip.
Listen, I don't know who needs to hear this, but just because you have multiple baby daddies does not mean that you are less valuable. It does not mean that nobody will date you, okay? It just means that you need to refine your dating standards, because there are men out there like this who will say to you that you are less valuable because you have multiple children with multiple men. But at the end of the day, men who do that, I really qualify them as my sisters. Listen, I don't know who needs to hear this, but
and how it's judging from my understanding and my standpoint, it seems like this here sister was trying to do all she could to defend women who may still expect for men to be in relationships with them, even if they may happen to have baggage, even if they may have, in other words, kids from previous relationships, but may still expect for a whole different man to take on the role of taking on being a father to their kids, in most cases their illegitimate kids or bastard kids, and in some instances even marrying them and taking on the role of becoming a stepdad to their kids. The average man, ladies, especially when it comes to the average man who's never had any kids of his own. Now, it's some guys, a few of them who may happen to not have kids of their very own, but in some instances, these types of guys may take on a role. These guys who don't have kids of their very own, but may happen to marry a woman who has kids by other men. In some instances, these guys may not be able to reproduce themselves, may have some kind of reproductive issue. But if it's a guy who's able to be fertile enough to have his very own kids, a guy without kids of his very own, that is, chances are he wants a woman that's his equal, a woman without kids of her very own as well, so he could be able to have someone who he could start his very own first family with, first and official family with, instead of having to deal with all of that drama that comes when dating a woman, in most cases, who may have a crazy father, who may have kids who may have a crazy father, or in most cases, fathers. You know, the main types of guys who we look at as some of the most popular guys in the African American community, guys by the likes of Ray Ray, a Nook Nook, a Pookie, those types of guys who are some of the most unpredictable guys who in some cases may have criminal records and may have have done some of the most heinous things in order to get those kinds of criminal records, such as unaliving people, selling drugs, things of that nature. So if I'm not mistaken, it should be one last clip to show.
Oh.
Last but not least, after showing this here clip, this proves my point also of why so many of you modern day women struggle in being able to find the right men or man due to how masculine a lot of you come across. Because it will be a case where us men may have to be out and about at either a grocery store, may have to be at a gas station, for example, laundromat, and may happen to come across a woman who happens to be a woman of this very same caliber, when tattoos all on her upper body parts and very visible tattoos, including not only a whole tattoo sleeve on her neck, but on her arms, on her chest as well, which makes you more not only masculine, but makes you also less attractive, less appealing to the average man who wants a woman that's a woman of good morals, a woman who carries herself in such a feminine and virtuous manner. Because according to the Bible, it's really a sin to get tattoos on your body. If you may come across the book of Leviticus, anyways, that's a whole different story for a whole different video for a whole other different topic and whole other time. So let me stop sharing my screen, go back to StreamYard. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, make sure, like always, you smash that like button, you comment on the video, you share it. Last but not least, subscribe to the channel. Till next time, you guys have a good one.